How you doing, everyone? It's Kevin. I'm back with another video. Today I am working on the Clark Metalworks 4.5-inch bandsaw. This is a metal bandsaw that I use a lot here in the shop, which it makes easy work of anything that you want to use a hacksaw on. It does very, very good. I have one little issue with it, but right now we're going to get ready to change the blade on this thing because I snapped the blade the other day. Once they get so old, they get stress cracks in them and they break. And this one here is done broke, and we're going to get to putting it on. And I'm going to tell you my little issue that I have with this, and I've done everything I possibly could, and I just can't figure it out. Maybe you guys could give me a hand with that. So let's get to putting the blade on it, and then I'll give you the issue. Let me show you up close. Alright, this is my metal bandsaw. It's made by Clark. This saw I use a lot in the shop. If you watch my videos, you always see me going to this machine to cut a lot of metal. One thing about it, it's not real loud. It don't make a bunch of sparks, and it cuts great. So we're going to get ready to put the blade on this thing. This is only, this will take 110 electricity, so you can plug it into basically any outlet you want, and it works really good. So let's get to putting the blade on this guy, and then I'm going to show you the issue that I've had with it, and maybe you guys can help me figure it out. I don't want to get rid of the saw unless I have another one to replace it. But right now, let's get the blade changed. This is our spare. This is the size belt that goes on it. Now you can pick these belts up at a couple different places. I can order these right on Amazon, or I can order them. I can get them from Tractor Supply. I think Tractor Supply still sells them, and I think Menards. I'm not 100% on the Menards one, but I think they do. But Amazon's a real easy place to get this, so we'll leave a link in the description down below for the blades for this thing, if this is the saw that you have. What's really nice about this saw is you can cut in this direction here. This thing comes down and it cuts this way, or you can stand it up and also cut in this direction right here. What's cool about it is when you stand it up in that direction, you have a table here that you can actually slide right on here. Let me see. You slide the table on like this, and there's 2 bolts in there. You can bolt it down. You can also cut in this direction right here by using your hand to push your metal through, which is neat, and I've used it many, many times. This little table comes in handy for cutting. So let's get to putting the blade on. This doesn't take much. We're going to go ahead and get it set on there. So now when you're watching my videos, you're going to be seeing this little guy crawl around a little bit in here. We had a lot of mice in the garage. As you know, when we built the Homestead, we're actually in the woods a good bit, and I needed a mouser. So she's going to be stuck here in the garage for a little bit. Come here, girl. Come here. She's going to be stuck in the garage for a little bit because she's got to get fixed. We don't want to have a bunch of kittens running around. So she's going to be in the garage looking for them mice and taking care of them. And I think she's going to be a really good mouser. So you'll see her in the background. Now, we don't have a name for her yet. So if you guys want to name her or throw up some suggestions on a name, that's fine too. So she runs the shop now. So let's get to putting this blade on. Alright, pretty simple job today. We're just going to take this bolt here on the top and we're going to loosen it up. You'll see the wheel going down. And we need it loose enough that we can get the bandsaw blade on there. Now, what I like to do is I like to clean all of my wheels, and I'll take a brass brush and clean these wheels up to make sure there's no debris on them for when we get ready to put the blade on, because it will get some debris on there. So we're just going to take our brush and we're going to clean this, any debris, metal foulings or whatever might be on there. We're just going to clean them up real good. Make sure we go all the way around that one and the bottom one too, and then we're going to wipe it off with a rag. when you're doing this, be real careful, watch your fingers. The only way you can get that to turn is actually to turn the motor on. You don't want to force it because there's gears in there. And you don't want to strip your gears out. Now, once you shut her off, we're going to go ahead and unplug this thing so we can get our hands a little closer. I'd much rather do this while it was unplugged. And then we're just going to wipe the dust off of it. And I think we got that clean enough that we could go ahead and put our blade on there. Okay, when you unwrap your blade, you'll see it have a couple little bread twisters on it. One on each side. You want to untwist them and take them off. But make sure you're holding your blade tight so it doesn't just fling apart. We don't want it to fly apart. So this might be best for a lot of you to use a pair of gloves when you're doing this. Now you want to unwrap this thing, and we want to unwrap it slow. We don't want it to come apart fast. We want it to come apart slow. Like so. So now we have our blade out. So we're going to get this stuck in these wheels first. Then we're going to twist this blade and put it right on the top wheel and the bottom wheel. Now that we have it in both of these slots here, in the bottom wheel and the top wheel, we're going to go ahead and start tightening our top bolt up. And that's going to bring this wheel up and make this belt nice and tight. You do want to be careful right here because this blade can fly out and maybe even cut you. Make sure it's slid all the way back in its track. Now, a lot of people tighten these too tight, and then they will break if you tighten them too tight. So I have it pretty snug here. So what I'm going to do is turn it on and watch it track and tighten it down. Yep, better plug it in. And now that we got our machine plugged in, we'll go ahead and turn it on. So, I'm going to let that run just a minute. And then we're going to go ahead and tighten it down just a little bit more. We don't want to break our blade. Man, that looks pretty good. So, we're pretty tight. We don't want to go too tight. Like I said, they will break. So now, let me show you with the table on it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the table on this thing just so you guys can get an idea what this machine looks like when you have the little table hooked to it. I really like this for when I'm doing my homemade knives or doing a small piece of metal I need to cut. This thing really comes in handy for it because the table is awesome. So we can slide that table up on here and then put our bolts back in this guy. This is set up really neat for cutting if you wanted to use your hands. It's so much nicer. You can get right in there and cut. Just turn her on and cut your metal. It's pretty slick. You can use this as your table and just cut right through it. Nice. Love it. So this little table, the way that it's set up, it works great when you just want to use your hands to cut something small and force it through with your hands. It does work really good. And like I said, I've used this a lot like this. You don't see me using it much like that, but I do use it like that. So we're going to go ahead and take these bolts out and we'll show you how it cuts the other direction. And all you have to do is pull the 2 bolts back out. And what I do is I just stick this on the bottom pan down here so I don't lose it. And I always put my bolts back in because we don't want to get a bunch of debris inside them holes. So we'll just put them down in there, give them a little snug. Like so, and we're good to go. Now we can cut with our saw going down this way. So we're going to get this set up and I'm going to show you what this thing's doing that I really don't like. Okay, what we're going to do is I got a piece of black iron pipe here. I'm going to go ahead and set this up in this saw to cut. And we only want to cut a little sliver off of it, so about right there. Cut about a 1/4 inch off of it. And I'm going to show you how I got this thing set up, and then I'm going to show you what my problem is. What we're going to do is we're going to cut this piece of metal, and when this thing cuts this piece of metal, it always seems like the bottom is too far in. And what I mean by that is when you look down on this blade, when you look on this blade, it cuts, but when it's finished cutting, this will not be touching, the blade will not be touching the metal. So let's go ahead and cut it off and I'll show you what I mean. Now, do you see that? Can you see down in there? Let me go zoom in here. That blade is about 1/8 inch from that pipe now. That is weird. I don't understand it. It does it almost every time. I'm not sure if you guys can see it. I've never taken it out. But that blade, there's a gap between that blade and that piece of metal. And why does it do it? I don't know. And no, my cuts are not perfectly square. But like I said, I don't know why it does it. I've been over just about everything I possibly could on this thing. I've looked over the bearings. I've even switched bearings back and forth. I've adjusted it, and it just is weird. I don't understand it. It cuts good though. And for the jobs that we do, they don't have to be perfect. I just wished it was perfect. It would be really nice. So if you guys have any ideas on why this might be doing it, I thought maybe even the tensioner here was not right. Maybe too much pressure on it, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure. It just doesn't seem right. But I love the saw. That's changing the blade on the 4.5 inch Clark metal bandsaw. Like I said, if you guys have any clue why this thing is not tracking, I have moved about everything I possibly could on this thing and I just can't get it to track right. It's not like it really hurts a lot because most of the stuff that we're doing is being welded, and we can adjust that with our weld, just leave it off a little bit or take it to the sander and straighten it out. I just noticed my little mouser has found a buddy to play with here. She got her first mouse. Check it out. That's why we wanted a mouser here in the garage. The mice are pretty bad here in this area, and I don't think she's going to have any trouble. She's pretty proud of her kill. I don't think we're going to have any trouble with her getting mice. We can see that already. Alright, I'll leave a link in the description for the blades for Amazon. I am an Amazon associate and I get a small commission from qualifying purchases. So if you guys want to help out the channel, that's one way you can help out. And it doesn't cost you anything. It doesn't change the price of what you pay. I just get a small commission, which is really cool. So I'd like to tell everyone thanks for using those Amazon links. It helps me a lot. I'd like to tell everyone thanks for watching the video. Don't forget to subscribe. Leave me thumbs up, thumbs down, or a comment if you'd like. Until next time.